Hello YouTube again, and today I'm just bringing you a short video about new post that came out on Hytale. It's a WorldGen introduction, and I just thought if some people can be asked reading, they can watch this video because it looks pretty cool. They will provide us a first look for Hytale world's generation system, and also they remove creatures so that wouldn't be any spoilers and stuff. They say that right here. Okay, so this is the first picture we'll see, and unannounced, they'll have more zones, but this is at the biomes that we see right now. What the first thing I noticed that is pretty cool is that obviously the normal biome will be just normal kind of like underground as well, and then it goes to lava, but it changes with every biome. So for example, up here you'll see like water mostly and ice and just like icy kind of environment. Up here you will see like lava environment straight from above and stuff, so you know, like something you don't have in Minecraft. In here it's actually pretty cool that they will just have a different biome not only at the above but also on the ground as well. So another little point is like you can see that this is just like one normal kind of underground. There's some kind of like dungeon right here and stuff, but then up here there's like a forest underground as well. You know, you can see a forest right there, so it will be changing with every biome. Every biome will be dragging its own underground textures and its own underground places. You know, it will be different. This is an example generated area how it will roughly look. So you can see some pond right here, a little island on like in the middle, rivers obviously because this game will have rivers in it, and in general there is like normal green kind of area, and up here it switches the seasons basically. You can see that, and then this is just formed out. So this is roughly how zone 1 will look from the top view, up from above. Another thing that I found pretty interesting is that they're talking about each zone will have its own blocks and distinct content, but the more important one is that it will have like its own NPC races, so they will change races as well depending on which zone it is in. The different creatures, obviously the plant life and whatever will be also different, which is kind of normal. So you would expect in a snowy area snow instead of rain and stuff like that, but like that's what they promise us, is exploring a cave in like Borea, one of the zones will be different from exploring a cave in Emerald Grove, like different zone basically. So zone 1 dungeon will be different to zone 2 dungeon, or zone 1 cave will be different to zone 2 cave. This is an example of the materials, I guess, what they use. So this is in zone, for example, 1, and this zone 2. You can tell just that, you know, they have different wood. You know how in Minecraft when you hit certain wood trees, they look different. This is roughly the same, and the houses will be built differently according to the zone, because that just means that, like for example, as a lore, NPCs were building their houses from this wood instead of that wood. Just take a look at those two biomes, for example, and how differently they look from each other. The trees look different, everything, the sand, the blocks, everything, which is like a normal thing for Minecraft also. But I just want to point out how up here it's different as well. The water is more like brighter and stuff, and this area is a bit more dull and dark. It also could be just because the sun is going down, so I don't know. They also promise us that underground it will be underwater it will also be different. This is like in the zone 1. I'll just use zone for example, right? Yeah, zone 1, that's how the underwater will look, and then zone 2. You see it's more rocky, more like green materials and stuff, and this is just more sandy. Everything is just like sandy, like the leaves and stuff are like kind of burned out, you know, a bit like yellowy color. Also they're talking about how you can enter the deep zones, and deep zones, which is like this kind of area, will be also made on its own different unique features, which will have contain different dangers, different monsters, different rewards. As was shown above on the concept art, this is how the dungeons will look. Like for example, in one area, I assume this would be like a sandy area, this is how the dungeon will look, more like inside a pyramid or something, I would guess, like sandy bricks and stuff. And then this one would be into the cold zone, how it would look. You can see some snow here, different kind of environment. You can see also lava at the bottom, that means this picture was taken at the bottom. I guess that's different type of monster. They also promise that each dungeon, each kind of like cave will have a final room. Yeah, it says right here, final room, providing challenges and special rewards tailored by our world team. So I would assume that each like final room will have a big boss or something like that, or a special unique boss with special unique loot and chests and stuff like that. this is an example of how it will look. The entrance right there, so you can go around the either way, and this will be the final room right here, I think. Okay, let's go to prefabricated buildings or quests. So they say underground is just only one feature, and underwater and stuff like that. In general, they will have not just dungeons, they will have like prefabricated content into Hytale. Right now they have 3,785, so it will be something like a castle in the middle of nowhere, or like a broken boat somewhere, like stuff like that. Like in, I would say it's something like in Skyrim, you know, when you just run through the forest and you encounter like some random NPC and he'd be like, yo, do you want to try some of this liquid? It's very good. And then you try and you pass out and you wake up in a dungeon, or you know, like a little story to tell, little quest. And they say that it will be special like encounters, different from each other, and they just distributed throughout the world at random, and sometimes appear only once. So just like in Skyrim, sometimes you don't see it, sometimes you see it, you know. Sometimes like that guy runs past you and says like, yo, did you see the thief? Or sometimes if you complete exactly the same area, it won't be there. And it will be hand designed, obviously this because it's like a prefab, so they design those little quests themselves. They say that it will add more, but right now is this amount, which is still a ton. This is a ton of little prefabs. There's a picture of like different areas to look different. There's like some sakuras up here, I would say. So different forests, different like trees, how the trees will look, and around different areas. Looks pretty cool right now. Another thing that they will add that Minecraft doesn't have, and pretty just unique feature, is Porcel Dungeons. So after like maybe unlocking a certain like key or doing a certain mission, you will unlock a dungeon that you can come through. You will not be allowed to dig in here or break stuff the way you are allowed in open world, so that will not just make it boring, you know, just dig through and enter the portal room. You will have to actually go through the dungeon and complete it. And basically what happens is when you enter the portal, you will transfer to another dungeon, which also needs to be completed, and there will be obstacles and stuff like that. And a reward, of course, at the end of it. So depending on where you find the portal, it will look different. So in zone 1 it will look different to zone 4, for example. I would assume, I don't know, for example, this would be like a zone 1, and this would be like a zone 4 where everything's covered with lava and stuff. This is just a concept art though, and yeah, this is what you find on the other side. So it won't be like just teleport to another part of the world, it'll be you teleport to completely outside the world type of area. So it will look something like this, just nothing around, and then you have to complete this kind of area, this dungeon. There'll be some kind of boss here, maybe loot here, etc. Oh, I forgot to mention, these are prefabs as well, so they're not generated automatically, they're actually made by hand. Well, unless you probably understood that already, but just unless you didn't. Another one, this how look, corrupted golem. So we've seen that in the trailer. Probably you have to fight him. Yeah, we've seen that on the trailer and we've seen that on the maps. And then the entrance will be there. Happy little accidents. They're talking about so for example, each area has its own rules, right? Each zone, its own blocks and stuff. But sometimes like it collides differently with handmade dungeons and hand-designed dungeons, hand-designed quests and stuff. So when that happens, it might break a little bit, but at the same time, they say it makes it look better, it makes it look more like realistic. So for example, up here, instead of just being in the middle, it's actually just like a broken dungeon entrance on here as well, you know, or broken cave. And it just like gives you more life to it, you know, when it generates automatically. Or up here, like it just completely destroys a bit of the area and splits it, so you have to find it, there's more to it, you know. It will look different compared to everything else, you know, compared to just a casual like castle in the middle, for example. They call them, that's what they say, we call them happy little accidents, because it makes the place more unique. So they discovered sometimes where like rivers broke through their like castles and stuff, broke through mountains and just like, you know, go on their own. And like castles, you know, dungeons that have been split in half by a ravine. Swampy terrain might creep halfway up mountain, or you might be exploring a cave only to discover a lost mine deep within. These small touches help to ensure that every world and adventure you have there is truly feel different, you know. I really like that feature. I think it looks pretty cool. I remember playing Minecraft and sometimes you just find randomly generated dungeon inside, like you know what I'm talking about, those little caves and stuff with like zombies and monsters and spawn locations. It looked pretty cool at the start when you start playing, and it's like fun to explore. And they're talking up here that you can customize all the stuff on your own, or the worlds and stuff. I'm sure a lot of people will take advantage of this, but me personally, I just want to play the game. I just want to play the game. I don't want to create anything as much, but it will be fun to create stuff probably for YouTube challenges and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the update we got today, and it's pretty cool. It was posted 18 hours ago. Yeah, that's all we get right now, and I think it's pretty cool. What do you think about it? Make sure you comment below. I think it's way more unique than in Minecraft, which kind of proves to me that, you know, these people played Minecraft. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They know what stuff was missing. So I feel like they will make the game a lot greater, you know, a lot better. But we will see when it actually comes out. I cannot talk, and as much as I'm super hyped right now, like in general, but I need to keep my hype low down just in case anything fails. I wouldn't be too, you know, too disappointed. But anyway, hope you like this video. If you want to carry on to look after Hytale with me, make sure you subscribe and press that notification button, because every single update, all the way until the game releases, I'll be making videos on it, and then when the game releases, I'll be making videos on it as well. So make sure you subscribe and like this video if you want to see future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.